All right, guys, I kickstarted this video cutting down Easton's brand new X10 Parallel Pros to size. Got these as raw shafts, cut them down. You know, this is a version of Easton's all-time popular X10, which has won basically every Olympic competition ever. And Easton has transformed it into a hunting arrow. It's got the AC construction, which is aluminum on the inside, carbon on the outside. Should be extremely durable. I can't wait to get them built and get out here on the range and get them tested. But I just want to kind of take you through the entire build process of this arrow from start to finish. And like I said, got it cut down to my specs, down to size. This is a 340 spine. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna actually get the inserts in and wanna make sure we get this talked about and get it done right. Now, there's a lot of different ways that people have for building arrows. So if your way is a little bit different than mine, that's okay, but this is something I've used with AC arrows that has really worked for me. My inserts stay in. I don't have anything where I'm turning a broadhead or screwing a broadhead in and my insert shifts or anything like that. So this is just the process that I use. I think it works really well. It should work really well for you. What we're gonna do right now is just get this insert glued in an arrow, and then I'm obviously not gonna show you how to do every one, and then we'll skip to actually fletching these arrows up and then get them out on the range and shoot them. So the first thing that I'm gonna do is I've just got a little, this is something I use on 22 caliber for cleaning. It's just a little brush. Now, being that the inside of this arrow is aluminum, I just want to get this in here and get that roughed up. And the only reason I do that is I get a little bit better seating when I glue in my insert. I get a little bit better bond between the insert and the shaft. Now, with that done, got that cleaned out. Now, also, these new insert sessions, the new match grade ones, come with a chamfering stone. And you want to take that chamfering stone and you want to go ahead, and you don't have to go crazy on this. That's enough right there, boom. This just produces a seamless bond between shaft and insert. Great bond, it works really, really well. Those of you that have shot Easton arrows before are familiar with the chamfering stone. Now that I've got that, what I always do is I want to clean anything that's got up in here between the brush and the chamfering stone, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little rubbing alcohol to a Q-tip. I'm going to send that up in there and get that cleaned out. Now, with that clean, this shaft is ready for the inserts. Now, what I'm going to do before I do that, though, is you always want to give that rubbing alcohol a little bit of time to dry in there so that the glue doesn't come into wet alcohol. It's just something that I want to make sure of. It doesn't take long and evaporates really quickly. Okay, so now with that done, I'm going to use my glue, and I know a lot of people use in melting glue, things like that. I do not. So right now I'm going to come into here and I'm going to get this glued in. And don't have to go crazy on your glue, just enough. And when I push this insert in, something that I like to do is I like to use a twisting motion, because what that will do is that really helps spread that glue around the interior of that shaft. And then when I push it down, I really feel that sleeve come up over the shaft, and it is absolutely set to go. Then I'm going to give that plenty of time to dry, but that insert is in, it's ready to go, and now we're going to move on to the actual fletching of this arrow, which will be in the next step here. One of the things I suggest when you're fletching any arrows is don't get in too big of a hurry. I always make sure to do my inserts first. That's just me. You can fletch your arrows first and then do your inserts. I just prefer to do my inserts first. That way I have complete gripability of the shaft. And I like to make sure and give those inserts plenty of time to dry. That way if there's any excess glue on the inside, I don't get anything running. It's just something I'm particular about. Then once I have that, always with the carbon shaft, I want to make sure and get that nice and wiped down and clean. As you can see, there is some carbon material on there that will come off with some rubbing alcohol. I don't really care for acetone. You can use it, but I do prefer the rubbing alcohol much more. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give that shaft a few seconds to dry. It doesn't take super long. And then I've got my Bitzenberger jig here set up with a 4-fletch. The fletch I'm using that I've been really impressed with is Fletch's brand new for 2024 Pro 2.5. As you can see, super low profile vane here. But what I love about it is it's got really excellent durability. I've shot these into targets, blown through things, and they just really hold up. And again, that design, I get good airflow over the vane, and with the 4-fletch, I get maximum arrow rotation, good spin, running an a helical here. So that's just kind of my choice of system here. Looks like the arrow is ready to rock and roll here. So what I do now is I'm going to go ahead and take my first vane, and this part is super important. Make sure you have your jig marked so that you get your vane on the same line setting every time. And then also, I never want to worry about my vanes coming off. I shoot with a lot of guys. I've seen vanes pop off in flight. I've seen vanes hit a target and just fall off. And one of the things I do is, of course, the carbon's already clean, but now I'm going to run my primer pin over the vane. Now, once you do that, it doesn't even take that much, but I have OCD with it, so I got to get it right in my mind. Once you do that, don't just put your glue on and go to here. Give that primer pin, this is a Zing one from Fletch. Give it a chance to just dry up on there a little bit. Then go ahead and come down and add your bead of glue here. Boom. And now we're set to go on. Get her set on. Boom, let it slide down. You don't have to go crazy here. Just some nice firm pressure. That really seats the vane down. And I like to hold mine for 5, 6, 7 seconds, something like that. I don't get crazy about it. And then I'm just gonna let it sit for a minute, and that is attached. Then I'll go through, I'll get all 4 vanes on, and then like I said, we'll have these arrows completely constructed with the new match grade inserts. Again, the 55 grain aluminum, and then we're gonna get these suckers outside and we're gonna send them down range. We're gonna get them weighed here shortly as well on the digital scale once we have everything set, and we're gonna be ready to go. So now we've got the X10 Parallel Pro completely built up with a 4-fletch. Got the 4mm microlight knock in there, and then of course the brand new match grade collar system, which is the half out. It's a 2-part half out like we talked about. And then I went with Easton's match grade 100 grain point here. So I want to get a weight on this. As you can see here, my scale is zeroed out here. We're going to get it zeroed, and once we get her zeroed, we're set. Going to go ahead and get this arrow weighed. 419.4 grains on total arrow weight with this arrow. Now, want to show you this as well, because here is, as you guys know, my all-time favorite arrow to this point. I have not tested the X10s yet. So this is the 4mm axis long range, same spine size, same fletch orientation as you can see here, 100 grain point on the end, scale zeroed out, and let's get a weight here on this one. 413.8, 413.9 grains. So not a whole lot of difference here, but we'll get them out on the range here, and I cannot wait to test this arrow. A little heavier, so I will end up having to change a sight tape if I decide to go with this arrow, which I will for some applications for sure, but I'm excited to get it out on the range. All right, we got them all fletched up. Easton's X10 Parallel Pro. You guys saw the building process, so now stepped out here to the backyard range, gonna shoot some down range at 44 yards. Now I will tell you this, I do expect these arrows, because they do weigh a little bit more than my 4mm axis long range, to be slightly lower, but I'm not going to adjust my tape or anything like that, but just know going in that, you know, if some of these shots are lower, especially as we move back in distance, that's why. And I also might find that I have some left or right variance, but I doubt it. The specs are very similar, but sometimes you still get that. So we're going to go here from 44 at the sever target down there. 2 white golf tees stuck together. Here we go. Man, that broke super clean, and it flew super quiet, and I mean, I literally can't even see it. It's right next to the golf tees. It's in there, I know for sure. But the shot broke perfect, so I will say that. But that was literally my first arrow here with this new build, and we've got some wind blowing from left to right here. So super pleased with that first one. Let's go ahead and send one more from this distance. That one's a little bit lower and a little bit left, but when it broke, that's about where my pin was floating. So I'm still super pleased with that, because it's not like, I mean, we're in a 10 ring on a 3D target, and we're definitely getting an animal right there. So we're gonna do one more though. That one's gonna be pretty close too. So 3 shots with those arrows. Let's go down there and check it out. I'll tell you guys right now, I apologize for the dog yard, but 2 labs, and then my daughter got a brand new puppy. So we've got a bunch of stuff strewn about here. But I wanted to get it in today, because in February in Colorado, you never know what you're gonna get weather-wise. Man, those look awesome. Those look absolutely awesome. So, as you can see here, some things I want to talk about. I mean, these two, I mean, absolutely excellent. This one, it's not the arrow. I didn't show this in the video, but I spin test all of these, shot them through paper. That's all set to go. This was just me, was just floating around, and when the release broke, but like I said, I mean, these are 1-inch grids, so I'm actually just about 2 1/4 inches off here. These 2 are right there, so I'm super happy with those. 44.5 yards. What we're gonna do now is I'm gonna go ahead and step back and shoot 3 more from 80, and we'll take a look at those, and that'll give everybody a good jumping off point. But what I will say, these things, if you notice, I mean, they're straight into the target. Again, I paper tuned all of them. They're straight into the target. Shooting it, I detected no horizontal or vertical knock travel, and just deadly quiet going downrange. So right now, I'm loving them. All right, I know I said 80 yards, but that puts me a little close to the blacktop for the sake of the video. So right here, we're going from 75.6 yards. We're gonna go down there on the Morel bag target. Now, again, I do expect these arrows to be a little lower than my Easton Axis long range 4mm. These arrows weigh a little less. These ones weigh a little bit more. So just know that I'm still lion hunting right now. So not wanting to change tapes just at the moment. So we'll test these suckers out and see how they do. At almost double the distance, we were shooting 44. Now we're 75.6. Here we go. That one broke clean. Let's take a look. Okay, so pretty much what I expected. Low and a little bit left. The left, like I said, we do have some wind. Shot broke great, which is, you know, all I can say is whenever I shoot long range or whenever I shoot any arrow, all I'm trying to do is execute the best shot that I can, no matter the conditions that I'm facing. So we'll go with the second arrow here. Got a semi coming. That one broke beautiful. Check this one out here. Take a look. Okay, again, a little bit low, a little bit left, and I want to talk about that a little bit here. Gonna have a semi roll by here, so just a second. don't worry, we're well enough off the road where we're not within any legalities here. So so here's something else I want everybody to understand with the left and right as well when we walk up there. One of the things that I have noticed when I start shooting different arrows is as you especially move back in distance, even though the specs between the X10 Parallel Pro and the Axis Long Range are very similar, they're still a little bit different. My FOC is a little bit different. So I have found that when I switch arrows between arrows, a lot of times once you get beyond 60 yards, you'll get a little bit more left and right. And like I said, I'll get that cleaned up when I set up a bow that is specifically set up for these arrows. All I'm doing right now is trying to show you guys these arrows, give a good test go, and so we'll send one more here. All three of those shots broke well. Let's go up there and check them out. Pretty pleased with it, really. What I can tell you right now is that Easton's hit it. I mean, they've hit the nail on the head like they always do. The X10 Parallel Pros, I mean, like I said, they'll definitely earn a place in my quiver. The only reason I'm not making the immediate switch right now is one, the 4mm Axis Long Range have been so good to me. I have a lot of confidence in them, and I'm still trying to hunt a mountain lion. We're just trying to run bare ground right now. You know, eventually I'll shoot these arrows a lot more and get even more confidence with them, and then really get them tuned to a setup that is with the bow that I'm shooting. And get that exactly right as far as just the tape basically, and then whether I need to tinker with the rest of the sight to eliminate that left and right. But here's a 75.6 yard group right here, 3 arrows, again stuck perfectly in the target. Not bad at all. I'm pretty happy with that. And again, this bow, I mean, these are the first 6 arrows out of this bow with these arrows. Everything else, it's completely set up for the 4mm Axis Long Range, which even speaks more to these arrows and how awesome they actually are. So the only thing I got left to do now is I'm going to run a quick speed test on them so you guys can see that. Man, these, like I said, will earn a place in my quiver this fall, and super excited with Easton's new build. All right, guys, like I said, the last thing I want to show you is just a speed test here, and there's a reason I'm shooting off the concrete from the knees, and that's because we did get some snow. The ground's really wet and there's a lot of mud, so that's why I'm doing that. But here we go. We'll shoot 2 arrows through there just to make sure, you know, there's not a whole lot of variance. Oh, and by the way, this is Hoyt's Alpha X33, set at a draw length of 28 3/4. Love this cam system. You can actually set your draw length in 1/4 inch increments. And it's set at exactly 68.2 pounds. So keep that in mind as well. It's not a full 70. Here we go. .291 on the first arrow. 291. I mean, that's cooking. 291 feet per second is absolutely smoking with this setup. At 420.2 grains, I think it was, when we did that earlier on the digital scale. So we'll shoot one more. .290 feet per second. Consistency, perfection, the Easton X10 Parallel Pro.